The Lowell Humane Society is an animal shelter for the greater Lowell area. And our goal is really to help make the world a better place for pets and the people who love them. So, over the years, we've kind of evolved on what we do for the community. It used to be primarily law enforcement and taking in stray animals. And now we've evolved to be more of a shelter where people can come to for resources. We still do take in stray animals, of course, but we also focus on trying to help people keep their pets in their home. My absolute favorite part of the job is matchmaking and seeing pets and people find a new pet that just kind of completes their family and their home. I love when a pet is going to go home with their family and one of the staff announces on the radio, like, Fluffy's going home. We don't really, I don't, it's just like a natural thing that evolved. We don't say they're getting adopted, we say they're going home. And I think that's my favorite thing, is just seeing everybody so happy when they find a place.
I always knew it was part of my retirement plan to work with animals in some capacity. And so when the time came, I researched different opportunities in the area, and the mission and vision of the Lowell Humane Society really, was in line with what I was hoping to find. And in addition to that, their longevity in the community and their great reputation just drew me to them. So I was very happy when I was accepted as a volunteer, and that was 6 years ago. So I am considered a cat and small animal morning volunteer. That's my primary responsibility. And that, is first thing in the morning. You can imagine all the cats and the little guinea pigs and animals are all making noise. They're hungry. And so it's feeding them, cleaning their cages. It's very busy. Trying to get them all comfortable from the night before. If there were any accidents or things like that, we clean that up. We also try and get the public area, cleaned up a little bit before they open at noontime. So that's sweeping floors, washing them if we have to. If there's any time, there's always dishes and laundry to be done. So that's my primary assigned duties. And then on another day, I come in and do office work. So I help the staff with filing or really anything that they have going that I can be of assistance. In addition to that, I pick up odd jobs, wherever I can pitch in, I will certainly do that. Even sewing and baking and whatever they need, I'm happy to help out. Anything that helps the staff then gives them more time to work with the animals.
Yeah, there are a lot more opportunities than just maybe like cleaning cages or snuggling with the pets. So if you have a special skill or talent, definitely reach out, because whether it's, copywriting or photography or graphic design, we can always use help for special events and fundraising. So, if there's anything that you're really passionate about and you want to try and combine with animals, we can probably add you to our team and make really good use of your skills.
I think, the more that we can do as volunteers, whether it's, doing laundry or dishes or, sweeping the floors, as I said, it's less that the staff has to do, and it gives them more time to actually treat the animals and care for the animals in ways that we couldn't. In addition, we get to spend time with the animals and maybe notice, if someone is sneezing or not feeling quite right, and then we can bring that to the attention of the staff. In addition to that, we're helping the greater community as a whole, by finding, preparing these animals for their forever homes. And personally, it just gives me just such a sense of accomplishment to know that I am helping an organization such as the Lowell Humane Society fulfill the greater mission. So it's multi-level benefits. I fostered a few. but didn't go too far with that. I only had, I think, 2 sets that I fostered, because then I had a fail, and I kept him with me when it came time to bring him back. I couldn't do it. I said, nope. He just responded so well, and he was alone, and we had plenty of time to give him attention. So we kept Loki. And then last summer, so I've been working with the cats for 5 years or so, and seeing them every week, and nobody, I mean, I love them all, but nobody really struck a chord with me until one of the other volunteers brought me back and introduced me to a guy that they were calling Hook. He had been found as a stray. He had an injury, and they had to amputate. And I saw him, I think it was 4 days after his surgery, and we just made eye contact, and that was it. As soon as he was well enough to go home, I brought him home first as a foster, and he's been with me ever since. I try not to get too attached because I have a limited capacity at home, but every week, I think to myself, I hope I don't see you again, but I love them all.
So I've been fostering here for about 9 years. Prior to this, I volunteered for Bangor Humane Society in Bangor, Maine. And long story short, what made me want to get involved was that long ago and far away in Bangor, Maine, I moved there for graduate school. I didn't know anyone. It was far away. It was really cold. It was a really hard program. And I knew I needed a companion. So I adopted a kitten from Bangor Humane Society. And that kitten and that litter had been fostered. And at that moment, I made a vow to myself that in the future, when I had the time and the space, the energy and the resources, that I wanted to pay it forward and return the favor. So about 9 years ago, that's where life landed, and I ended up back here, and I've been doing this ever since. The shortest answer to that is that your life is in 2-hour increments. The minute they land in your hands, everything you know goes out the window. Your schedule, everything you thought was going to happen in the next few weeks is gone, and you're living in 2-hour increments. And as their weight gets up and they get a little bit older, that relaxes a little bit. So right now we're somewhat between 3 and 4 hours between feedings, but it is around the clock care. It's 24/7. Not all fosters are this intense or high need, but babies that are this little that don't have their mom, they need that frequent high intensity care to survive. So they need to get bottle fed starting at every 2 hours, and then gradually over time you decrease to 3 hours, 4 hours, and then you eventually start to wean them off milk, and they start to eat on their own and use the litter box and do all kinds of fun things like that. But so it's a lot of high intensity at first, but it tapers off after that. And they, as I was saying earlier, they're adorable, and they're slightly less cute at 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. But the exhaustion is worth it. The amount of laundry they generate is staggering. You would not believe it, but yeah. So there's a lot of high intense needs right now, but they're doing so good. There's so many benefits, and it is very hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's very hard to say goodbye. I cry every single time. Everyone here knows that. I think they're used to it by now. But you do develop such an attachment with these animals. I never want to hold back and not give them 100% of myself and my affection. So when you do move them on, even if it's to your neighbor or your friend or whatever it is a very emotional experience. So you do get very, very attached. They're kind of magic like that. They have that way of making that happen. But I would just encourage everyone to think about if it's something that you could possibly do. As I said, there's so many scenarios where fostering can work out for people, even if you have just a very small space or a very small amount of time, that could be a fit for you. And if that isn't, there's so many other ways that you could contribute to the shelter, whether by volunteering or pretty much any skill set you have or any career you have. I'm certain that there could be we could find a way to contribute something. If you're in the corporate world, you could do a donation drive or, contribute something to a raffle. Or if you're in, to arts and crafts and baking, the cats need toys and, dogs need treats, and all those things can happen. Even if you just have a couple hours a month and you can do transports, like picking up donations, or someone just transported a duck somewhere. I was very jealous. You don't get to drive ducks places very often. But whatever you have to contribute, there's definitely a need. And I'm sure that they could figure out a balance of how to make that happen.
So, some new things that we're doing lately that people might not know about is we are offering more of a dog day out program. So, if you'd like to kind of spring a dog from the kennel for the day and take them on a hike or an overnight at your home, you can do that. It's a very quick training with one of our staff members on what to do when you take the dog off site and hopefully get some more exposure for them for adoption. And we also are looking to hopefully expand even more into the community. Things shut down a lot in COVID, and something we liked doing previously was going out to community events and being a real part of the community. And we're really excited about this summer really being able to open up and go out to community events to bring adoptable pets and also just inform the community about what we have going on here and how they can be responsible pet owners too. So I would say follow us on Facebook or TikTok. We also have a great Instagram account where we're constantly posting updates about adoptable pets and other programs and events that we have going on. Another great way to follow what we're doing is to join our e-newsletter list, which you can do right on our website, lowellhumanesociety.org. And I always like to remind everyone, even though our name is Lowell Humane Society, we aren't actually funded by the city. We don't receive any state, city, or federal funding. We are 100% donation run. Our entire budget is based on the generosity of our community. You know, we appreciate everything that our community does for us, and we just couldn't be here without you. So, thanks for your support and keep on giving.